All right, students, we are back. What we have been doing is finding the keywords, and we did some exercises before paragraphs like 2 to 8, yeah, if I remember correctly, yes. So we move on to the other paragraphs. Yeah, I also mentioned that you should read those paragraphs 8 to 15. So did you read it? Did you underline the keywords? Yeah, you do it all the time, good practice. Yeah, best way to learn reading skills. Yeah, you will improve a lot, believe me. Yeah, if you can do this, if you can find the keywords, you have taken a couple of steps already, in improving your reading skills. Okay, so paragraph 8 to 15, I'm going to show you those paragraphs, but before you see this page, you should have underlined the keywords on your book, or you should have written the words on your notebook or on your computer. Okay, so here we go. Paragraph 9 to 15. Okay, so far, if I ask you to remember, do you remember the words from paragraph 1 to or 2 to, let's say, 8? Do you remember? Safety, right? Cost, right? And opponents, yeah. Proponents, yes. And then the construction program, yeah. And then the last one is new reactors, like 30 new reactors in 11 different countries. And then they talked about the 2 accidents, but then people they are having different opinions about nuclear power plants because of the safety, they're not like safety measures, yeah, and the technological maybe developments, yeah, which they didn't mention, but I mean to say the points, yeah, okay, you remember those points, right? All right, and paragraph 8 to 15, see, look at these, the main points, yeah. Paragraph 9 is all about uranium. Uranium is the material. We learned this word already. And paragraph 10 also talks about uranium, because these paragraphs are short, okay? Because we are trying to analyze sentences, words, paragraphs, right? And also paragraph 11, again, it's about uranium. Yeah, okay. So the first one is the keyword is uranium. I think that's easy. You should have found, you should have noted, you should have written uranium is the keyword, because there's the shift in the argument. Yeah, now the writer talks about the material that is that would be used or that have been used in building nuclear power plants. Okay, so uranium is number 1. Yeah, and then mentioning uranium in that paragraph, and then the other paragraph talks about the price of uranium. Yeah, it seems the price of uranium was not that expensive, because many nuclear reactors were shut down, and the mining companies stopped even investing money in finding uraniums. Yeah, but then slowly it's changing. The ideas are changing. The opinions are different now than before. That's the past 1979, so many decades ago, right? So now it seems they're hopeful that the prices will go up. Yeah, if there are more and more nuclear reactors, maybe the mining industry, there would be a boom in the mining industry. Yeah, that's the point that the writer is trying to make in these paragraphs. Okay, the material, and then say something about the material, how the cost of the material. Okay, and then number 12 is also about uranium. So it seems like 4 paragraphs talk about uranium. Yeah, uranium, money, the cost, price, going up or coming down, or before it was going down, now it's coming up. And then enrichment. So enrichment is also a good word to learn. It's enrich. Rich is just making it maybe better. Yeah. So uranium, it seems they have to, it's not just like you take uranium, you mine uranium, and then you can just fit in, or you can just use it in the nuclear power plant. No, you have to go through a lot of process, to make the uranium fit, or to make the uranium suitable, to use that material. Yeah, in a way that it could work in a nuclear power plant. Yeah, so that's maybe that's a process. Yeah, so you need to enrich the uranium. Maybe that is an issue that the writer talks about in this paragraph. So still, it's not just like you use the uranium. Okay, and then revival of nuclear generator. So if this thing happened, I mean, if the everything is going to come back, that's what he is trying to say. Revival of nuclear generators. Okay, and then the next paragraph talks about the disposal of radioactive waste. Yeah, you remember we learned this word before. So here again there's a problem. Yeah, so though nuclear reactor, he's trying to argue that it's good. It's not, I mean, not good, it's better, you know, when you compare to other power sources or energy sources. Yeah, so he gives his argument, I mean the writer gives his or her argument, and but then still you have to mention the disadvantages, right? So the disadvantage is this, that disposal of radio waste. Where can you dispose? Do you have any idea? Yeah. So he talks about this in this paragraph. You know, he even says, I mean the writer even says that people have, maybe they have forgotten about Chernobyl or 3 Mile Island, but still there's a problem. The problem is how to dispose nuclear waste or radioactive waste. So this is one big issue. And then he ends up, and yeah, there's another problem that he mentions here. Apart from disposing, the problem of disposing radioactive waste, political issues. This is another big issue. Yeah. So how to deal with this political issue? If some countries or if some parties, they want to build the nuclear power plant, maybe the opposition, yeah, but the party may not like this party to build the nuclear reactor. So there's again the other issue, that is the political issue. These are the disadvantages that the writer mentions in these two paragraphs, yeah, paragraph 14 and 15. See, if you go back and just try to organize all these key points, the structure of the news article, so you can have a picture, right? How the writer tries to, I mean, argues his views or opinions. Yeah, you know, you when you speak, when you express ideas, your views, this is what you have to do, you know, to make it more meaningful, you know, giving evidences or giving valid reasons to support your argument. Yeah, this is one good example. Yeah, like nuclear power plant. You know, people also talk about global warming. Yeah, like about the problems that the environmental issues, the generation, the present generation is facing, right? So even if you want to write about it, you want to talk about it, yeah, you need to come up with valid arguments to, you know, express your views and opinions. Yeah, so take this as a good example. You know, watch a couple of the videos, right? Like how to organize it, how to analyze it, how to go deep into the paragraphs, how to understand the paragraphs, how to understand the whole reading article. Yeah, I feel it's kind of interesting even for me, right? You know, trying to find the keywords, trying to organize the whole reading article, and trying to comprehend, you know, of course that is the most important part, right? You need to understand what does it talk about, yeah, from the beginning to the end, and you should also have your own opinion. So you read this news article and you read the writer's arguments, and how about your own views and opinions? Yeah, do you agree with the writer? Yeah. Do you think there's no problem here? Or do you think after you read this news article, you feel like, oh yes, yeah, we should have nuclear power plant? Or you still feel, no, the arguments, I have a different opinion. So this is what you are supposed to do. This is what you are supposed to learn. News, English, and culture. This is what actually I want you to think about. Yeah. Not just, you know, you read something and then you believe in something, or you need to have your own reasons. You know, you need to develop your own reasons. You know, you read something and then have reasons, and not just read one article, yeah, about nuclear power plant. You also try to read different articles. Yeah, maybe we talk about it in the next video. Okay. All right. See you in the next session. Yeah. Thank you.